There is a dog barking in the background. Where do they get the energy? Hello and welcome to the Tiny Human Knits podcast. My name is Laura and I'm coming to you from Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, where I live with my boyfriend, our dog, our cat, and our rabbit. You can find me online as Tiny Human Knits on Instagram, Ravelry, Etsy, and YouTube, and I will have links to everything I talk about and all of my social medias in the description box below. Hello and welcome. It is the 15th of February today, and I hope everyone had a lovely Valentine's Day if that's something that you do. It is not something we do in this household, not by my choice, but whatever. Yes, I have a couple things to show you today. I've only got one finished object, but I have made pretty good progress on a lot of projects, and I think this episode will only have one finished object, but I'm pretty sure by the next time I film, I'll have quite a few finished things to show you. So I'll jump right in because I don't think there's anything particular that I needed to talk about at the top of the episode. But I will say what I am wearing, and I am wearing my Friday tee by Petite Knit, and I knit this with 3/4 length sleeves instead of the short sleeves that the pattern called for. And I also knit it out of my own hand-dyed yarn. The main color is my pale mushroom colorway. Wow. Pale mushroom, and then the contrast stripes are knit in my Jolly Holiday mini skein set, which I have been flirting with the idea of doing the Jolly Holiday mini skein sets again for the shop update in March. I think I'll have time for it, so I might. Let me know if you care. I don't know. But yeah, I really like this top. I will admit I did have to change out of my 1031 by Ysolda because I have worn that, I'm not even joking, every single day but maybe 3 since the last time I podcasted because I love it so much. It's so easy to wear and it fits so nice and I love it. That was going to be one of the next things I cast on after I finish this batch of things, I think, because it's quick, satisfying, and fits so nicely. Anyway, I put this one on today because it's a little bit warm in my house, so it's a little bit lighter. It's fingering weight on 3mm needles, and I just really like the way it looks. I think it's really pretty. Anyway, I will move on into finished objects. I have one, that is it. And it is actually a preview of the colorway that will be going into the shop. I always forget to mention this. I am a self-striping yarn dyer, in case anyone's wondering. I do other stuff as well, but my main thing is self-striping yarn. And I've been doing a Lord of the Rings collection. I did 6 colorways last year, and I will be doing for Fellowship of the Ring. And then this year I'm doing the 2 Towers, and next year I will be doing the Return of the King. And this colorway is my second colorway of the 2 Towers collection. And it is this right here. And this is called the King of the Golden Hall, and it is a Theoden colorway based on his outfit he wears throughout the 2 Towers. I really like it. This one took quite a bit of trial and error. I kept trying to figure out what order it went in. I remember at one point I had done a order of color work, or the colorways, and my boyfriend pointed out to me that I had accidentally made the German flag. I couldn't not see it after that. But yeah, this colorway will be in the shop as sock sets on the 3rd of March at 1 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time if you're interested. And just a reminder that I will be doing full sets of all 5 colorways in the summer when everything has been released, if you'd like to order them all at the same time. But yeah, the King of the Golden Hall is next month's Lord of the Rings colorway and my only finished object. I'll put that on my pile of new 2023 socks to knit. Last year I knit 24 pairs of socks. We'll see how many I can do this year. And yes, from that, there are no other finished objects. So I will move into works in progress. And I will go in order of sort of, I don't know if amount of work done. I'll just pick one. I actually haven't worked on this one, but I wanted to give a little update because I know I'm going to be able to work on it for the next 2 weeks, but I haven't worked Don't know why I'm bothering. My Caspian sweater by Jared Flood is in the exact same spot as I left it last time. This is the front panel. This was the back panel. But all of my other works in progress pretty much are at a point where I'm almost done them. So I'm going to be able to work on this one soon. And after I cast on a couple of other things, bind off a couple of other things, I'm going to cast on the sleeves for this right away as well, and that way I can do the complicated cables when I feel like doing cables, or if I'm doing something like watching anime or something with subtitles, I can work on the sleeves. So yeah, I just wanted to give an update, non-update on that, just to give a little bit of, to keep it fresh, pretty much. For myself and accountability and all that. But yeah, that's hopefully something I'll be able to work on a bunch over the next 2 weeks. But my next work in progress is my Musselburgh hat that I was using. Well, I am using, I'm still using it. Pardon me. I've been using as my workout knitting. I said in my last episode, I've got this little like stepper thing that I do for cardio because my job is very labor intensive. It's a lot of running around and a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of movement, but it's not like heavy cardio, so I use this thing as, this is too much explanation. Anyway, I've been using this as knitting for that, and I have got this far in it. And I am only, I think, 2 inches away from starting to do the decreases. Sorry, this is the Musselburgh hat by Ysolda Teague. Yeah, I'm about 2 inches away from starting to do the decreases because I don't want it to be a folded brim. I just want it to be the 2 layers together because based on the one I made for my nephew Axton, I tried it on my own head and I really liked the way that looked. So I'm just making another one. And I am knitting it out of Cascade 220 in the colorway 863, which is leftovers from my 1031 that I knit. And yeah, that's going great. I'm definitely going to have some of this left over, but I don't know how much. Maybe enough to make a headband or a pair of fingerless mitts. Wrist warmers, really. But yeah, it's very boring. It's just knitting the round. I'm knitting it on 3.75mm needles, and I'm doing the adult small size. And that's literally just something I pick up every day for half an hour. 20 minutes because my hands get too sweaty, but yeah, I pick it up every day and it's great. Also, I have to say, my cardio has improved so much from doing that stepper thing every day that my ability to like, my breathing has become a lot easier. Like my intake, I don't know, I feel like I can talk more without running out of breath. I don't know if that's helpful or not. But yes. Okay. My next work in progress, if this is your first time watching, this is pretty much the energy I carry all the time. If you don't like it, I would just click out now. My next work in progress is my Crossroads Junior sweater, or child. Crossroads child? Pardon me. It is a pattern by, I can't remember. I will have it linked below. I am knitting it out of Durham Natura Ulysses. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm doing it in the maple colorway. And then I also have a couple other colorways for the contrast. And I have finished the body. And I am now working on the first sleeve. So, as I said in my last episode, I'm knitting the 4-year-old size, but I'm doing it on slightly smaller gauge. Pardon me. I've got a dry cough that I get every time spring starts to roll around. But yeah, I'm knitting it on a 3.5mm needle, and the gauge is slightly smaller than what the pattern calls for. So I am knitting a slightly larger size because he's going to be 2, this is for my nephew, he's going to be 2 in May, so I want it to fit him for a while. So I've sort of done an in-between size, so probably like a 3-year size, I guess, because it goes from 2 to 4. And I think it's looking heckin' cute. And I'm very excited. I literally just picked up the stitches for this morning and worked on it for maybe 20 minutes, so the sleeves won't take long at all. And it's just something that's going to be really quick, and hopefully I can get it done by the end of the weekend. And then get a block, and I have the color work come all nice and stiff. And I was really determined to make my sister Dana, Axon's mom, a matching sweater, but then I think in my last episode I was talking about how I didn't want to make the adult size in this, but then I had picked a different pattern by Jessica McDonald that I was going to make in the blue here. But then she commented on one of my posts about how this is one of her favorite color combinations and she really liked it. So I've decided to knit the, what's it called? I'll put a picture of it. I've decided to knit this one, which was part of my plans video and I was gonna make it for myself, but I decided, another thing that decided this for me is that she's pregnant right now and is due in August, and then she will be breastfeeding probably. So I really just kept thinking to myself, like, a cardigan makes way more sense for her at this moment in time. So I'm gonna be knitting her that cardigan in the same colorway that I have left over for her, in the same colors that I did in the Crossroads Junior, because I just think it would be so cute for her and her little boy to have matching colors, at least if it's not a matching sweater. And then I hold the right to knit her the colorwork sweater in this blue later when she's not, you know, with child. But yeah, that's my main one. This should be finished super soon, super soon. But something that will probably be done even before that is a new cast on. And I started this, I think I started it on the weekend. I can't remember what day exactly, but it has been absolutely flying by. So I have wanted to make the Summer Soufflé by Laura Penrose of Penrose Knits for pretty much since I saw that she released it. But I didn't want to have the ruffle on it just because it's not really my style and just wouldn't suit with what I wear. But I really loved the shape that she had in this. I find a lot of summer knits look weird. I don't know if this is just like, it's really hard to knit for all bodies with summer garments, but I just really like the shape of the tee. It looked like it, sorry, it looked like it fit really well. So I wanted to knit it, but instead of the ruffle, I would do stripes. So I had in my stash 3 balls of Knitting for Olive cotton merino, which is a 70% cotton, 30% merino, and 250 meters per 50 grams, something like that, which is exactly what Laura designed this pattern in. And so you hold it double, and I'm using 3.5 millimeter needles because I think my tension is a little bit looser than Laura Penrose's. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so I had that yarn. I had 3 balls of the white and 2 of a brown ochre, I believe it's called. I don't know if I have the tag in here. I don't. Anyway, I'll show you the progress that I have so far. So I'm just doing 6 stripes, or 6 rows of the main color and then 2 rows of the contrast color. And I've already done the sleeves because I had this thought in my head. I ran out of the white. This is the last of it I have. I thought maybe before I did the sleeves that if I did the sleeves I would have enough to finish the body just cropped. I absolutely did not. So this is my progress so far. It's got short row shaping in the back. And I have tried it on and I really, really love it. It's got 1x1 rib at the top, and yeah, I think it's going to be really, really wearable. And like I said, I've tried it on and I love the way it fits. And I'm just carrying the yarn down the back for the stripe changes, not anything fancy at all. But yeah, so I ordered another ball of this yarn, the white. It's the natural white. And I'm supposed to get it, I think, by Friday, so hopefully I can get that done this weekend. Not that I need it now, it's still too cold to wear properly, but I really need more summer garments in my wardrobe because I keep just trying to wear my like sweaters during the summer and then just dying. But yeah, I really, really like this. So if you are someone who likes stripes instead of ruffles or wants to do the same thing, the only thing I have found in this is that you can't do, because it's a round yoke, so it has increased rows, so you do make one left every certain amount of stitches. And the only thing I found is that you have to do it at least 2 rows after the contrast color, otherwise it will warp the stripe that you've made. So as long as it's between, I mean, you can do your own striping sequence as well, doesn't matter. But for me, when I was doing this, as long as it was the 3rd row or further, it was fine. And I think it'll block out really nice because cotton is a little bit stiffer, so it doesn't have that same sort of like bouncy property that wool has. So I think once it's blocked, it'll look really good. But yeah, I had to rip back a couple times because I knew I couldn't do it after on the 1st row after a stripe, because then you're lifting up the contrast color. So I tried doing 1 row of the main color and then doing the increase row, and it kept making little like divots in the stripe. So it has to be the 3rd row or after. But yeah, I'm really excited to finish this. And I know that 5 skeins would be enough, but it's just I didn't have enough of a main color contrast color. If I had made the contrast stripes thicker, it would have been fine. But I do have 5 balls of this same, somewhere else. I have 5 balls of the cotton merino in the Knitting for Olive in black. And I was thinking of doing a camisole number 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, but I think I might do this instead in a single color. Or I could even do like just 1 row stripes with the white or this contrast color with the black, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see how well this one wears, and then we'll get to it. But this has been knitting up so quickly, which I'm quite surprised by considering it's 2 strands of cotton merino held together. I thought that would slow me down, but I'm really enjoying it. And I've also got a couple of I've got old cotton yarn that I got from Novita a couple years ago, and I have this one. Oops. And this is a slightly thicker, and it's also a 55% merino, 45% cotton. And I have 5 balls of this color. It's color 285, so it's just this nice sort of yellow color. And it might be thick enough for me to do one of these just with 1 strand by itself. So I think that might be kind of cool too. And it's a great way to use this stuff up because I have a quantity of this in a pink and a white as well. And I'm really wanting to knit through some of my summer yarns because I am in desperate need of more summer garments for where I live now. And it'd just be nice to get those out of my stash. They're just taking up space now. But yeah, I am really, really enjoying that project. Pardon me. I'm really enjoying that project. And then my last work in progress, which is something I won't show every time because it will take a long time, but I did want to show you what I'm sort of planning on doing with my beautiful shells blanket that I'm crocheting for my mother-in-law. I've only made a few more squares. The last time I showed you it was in a solid color. It was my sample square, and it was just to make sure that I knew what I was doing. But I have 14 different colors that I am putting into this blanket, and I wanted to show you sort of what I was going to be doing with the colors. They will be mixed up, but I made these 3 squares to sort of show what my plans are. So I'll be mixing up the colors like all together, but what I want to do is have the lightest color in the center and then have it get darker as it goes out, so I just will switch up my colors. I hope that makes sense, but I think these look so nice, and I think they're gonna look great together once they're all in a blanket. But yeah, so my goal with making these, honestly, if I made 2 a week, I will be fine, and I will have it done before Christmas. But I'll probably go through phases of making a bunch at one time and then like putting it to the side for a little bit. But I want to do them often enough that I don't forget how to do it, because that's the thing. I don't want to have to re-familiarize myself with the pattern. I want to just keep doing it. And then I have a couple more centers. So this one is following the same sort of idea as these are, but then I also made this one. I haven't sewn the ends in on this one yet. I made this one, and I just think I need to put the outline on it, or the outside edges on it, to see if I like the way this looks. I think I do, but I also don't know if it's a little bit too kitschy, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm really enjoying making these. They're so satisfying and quick. There's something about crochet that's just ridiculous. But yeah, I'm just holding all of my oh, I'm also using a Wool of the Andes Knit Picks Sport Weight. And yeah, I'm just holding them in this great big bag. And it just sits beside the couch for whenever I want to pick it up and crochet a few bits. I hope my crochet hook's in here. So I'm using a 3.5mm crochet hook. And, oh, good. Whew. Yeah, just that one. Boring. And if anyone's wondering, I crochet as if I'm holding a pencil, and I do it like that. And then I tension the yarn really weirdly in my left hand, as if I'm holding a cigarette. It's very strange. I don't know. Nobody taught me. I taught myself, so I just do it however my hands figured it out to do it. Which is fine. And you should do a craft however you feel comfortable doing it. And if anyone tells you you're doing it wrong, you should just stick the crochet hook up their nose. Okay, I want to show one more thing, and it's mainly just to keep myself accountable, because I really want to work on this project, and it's been in the progress for like 4 years now, and I really, really want to get it done. And that is a cross stitch project, and it is something that I'm desperate to finish, because one, it's beautiful, and two, I do want to dye up a Alphonse Mucha colorway collection at the end of this year, so this, you know, suits it. It is called the Blonde. It is an Alphonse Mucha cross stitch. It's by Counted Cross Stitch, or no it's not. It's called The Art of Stitch on Etsy. I'll link that down below. This is the pattern, and this is how far I am. And I really want to finish it, because I would really like to have it up on my wall, because it's beautiful. And I've already put a lot of work into it. So like, I really want to work on this. It's so lovely. And yeah, I think it would make a great like photo prop for when I have my collection figured out. So I want to work on this. Plus I've been really hankering for some cross stitch. And then earlier today I was actually watching Katie Green of the Green Bean podcast, and she started cross stitching, and she was making these absolutely adorable frog and toad cross stitches, and then it just really made me want to sit down with my project. So yeah, I really want to finish this. So yeah, I've got a couple of cross stitch projects that are like more than 50% done, and they're like pretty in-depth, like complicated, well, not complicated, but like lots of colors, lots of stuff. But I have a bunch of them that are almost done, and I'm just like, it's ridiculous, and then I keep starting new ones. But cross stitch doesn't have that same weight to me as crochet and knitting does, especially knitting. It just sort of sits and I'm okay with it, but I really want to have that one done. So I'm saying that out loud here so that hopefully that will keep it in mind that I want to get that done, if that makes sense. I think so. But yeah, the next time I podcast, I hope I have a bunch of these projects finished, and then I'll probably have a few started. I do want to do a gauge swatch for Laura Penrose's new pattern that just got released yesterday, the Eclair, and I am pilfering yarn from a other potential project that I talked about, and I'm going to use the Wool of the Andes Merlot Heather, which is this one right here, which is, I think, the exact weight that the yarn that she knitted in is. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to go down to a 4.5mm needle, but again, I'll do a gauge swatch with cables, so I just want to see, but I think that's going to look so nice. And I'm going to knit it without the bobbles, but I haven't yet decided what neckline I'm going to do. I probably will do the shorter neckline just because I already have a collar, like a high collar cabled sweater, and I can only wear that when it's really, really cold. So I feel like I run too warm to merit having a taller collar. So I'll probably do the shorter collar. Don't know if it'll be folded over, maybe, I don't know. And I'm not sure if it's going to be a split hem or not. I can't decide. But I am going to make it over, like, quite oversized, like to go over my hips, not my bust measurement. My hips are significantly bigger than my bust measurement is. So I think that'll be really nice. But yeah, I want to do a gauge swatch for that and then cast that on sometime soon. But I don't know if that'll be before or after I do another 1031 by Ysolda. Because I already did the gauge swatch for that one, and it will take like no time, because it takes no time. It's beautiful. Anyway, I am gonna go continue dyeing more of the new colorway and then futzing around my house as I usually do. And I hope you all have a wonderful time until I see you again, and that's it. Bye!